G'day ladies and gents, and welcome back to DCS World with Mags, and welcome back aboard the Tiger 2. So I won't be talking too much in this video. You'll hear it when I do speak. My voice is still a little bit crackly from my illness the other day. I'm having trouble keeping it up at the moment. But today, well, we're going to actually have a couple of flyouts in a row. Now, these missions are completely available and free. They come with the Tiger 2 as standard. And the first mission is an intercept mission. And as you just saw, our target is a Tupolev Tu-95, the bear. So we're going bear hunting. The Tupolev Tu-95 is a heavy bomber built by the Soviets. It was effectively their answer to the American B-52. Instead of being powered by jets, however, it's powered by 4 monstrous turboprop engines. And by monstrous, I'm talking in the vicinity of 14,800 horsepower each. It has a maximum speed of 920 kilometers per hour when at altitude on full throttle, has a loaded weight of 171 tons, and is defended in the tail by 2 23mm tail turrets, each of them controlled by a radar system for guidance. Now by now I'm sure you've noticed the annoying buzzing sound running in the background at the moment. That's actually the seeker heads on the AIM-9 infrared guided missiles that I'm carrying on the wingtips, currently looking for a target. Now if that sound suddenly turns solid, that means I actually have a missile lock on the aircraft, and it would be a trivial thing to shoot this T-95 down using a missile, and I have 2 available. But where's the fun in that? There's actually a line about something like this in a Dos Gringos song that's worth listening to. So, as our wounded bear begins to spiral down towards the ground, it is probably worth mentioning that the Tiger 2 is actually armed with 2 M39 20mm cannons. This revolver cannon carries 560 rounds of ammunition and spits out ammo at a rate of 1,500 rounds per minute. So you've got a little over 20 seconds worth of ammo on board if you were to pull the trigger and hold it. So sadly, as I expected, the intercept mission that comes with the Tiger 2 was not quite as difficult as I was hoping. The Bear is a fantastic aircraft, but this thing carries a lot of firepower and is just faster. The poor grizzly down there never really stood a chance. Thankfully, it's not the only mission that's available. There's also an air-to-air combat mission. So how about we go take a look at that one now? So as it turns out, the air-to-air mission is about as balanced as it can get. It's your F5 versus an AI-controlled F5. You both start at opposite ends of a combat area, and you start heading towards one another. Now once again, we are at an altitude where we get a very prominent contrail, which made it very easy to locate the F5 in this particular flight. I sharply pulled the aircraft up to get above it, and then roll left to spot it, where I spotted it crossing the reflection of the sun. And speaking of the sun, that strong tone in the background means we have infrared missile lock on the sun. A sure sign that the simulation is good when the heat generated by the star that the planet orbits around is modelled within the simulation and will screw with your aircraft's weapon systems. It's also good to know because it opens up some very interesting evasion tactics that otherwise wouldn't be available. Anyways, a goal for this mission is to hit this aircraft with missiles. I actually haven't fired a missile on this thing in anger so far. Clearly the lock works. Using the missile systems is actually a lot like using them on the Hawk. The IR system seems to track directly from the seeker heads on the missiles themselves, which is why you've got the droning in the background. So getting a lock is simply putting the missile over the target and waiting till it goes beep before hitting the weapons release. It's really, really simple. Unfortunately, you have no visual aid that a lock is trying to go in, so all you can do is just keep the pipper over the enemy aircraft until the sound changes, and if the sound doesn't change, try and go to guns before you overshoot. And there's the lock, Fox 2. One off the rail, and impact, Splash 1. Once again, I don't actually think that AI realised I was there. As much as these aircraft are equipped with radar, the radar is still rather basic, and that AI didn't attempt to defend itself at all. So I reckon we're going to have another crack at this one. And this time I'm going to try and go to guns on the enemy AI. But I'm going to make sure I have its attention first. I want to make sure it is locked onto me and trying to kill me. So once again we find ourselves in exactly the same position as we were in the last round. We're right on the 6 of the enemy F5, he has no idea that we're here, and we have 2 loaded missiles. However, this time I want to really piss him off, so we fire one first without a lock, pass straight up and pull up in front of him. Now that has to get his attention. And yes, at this point he is now very much engaged, so this time I shouldn't get another free shot at him. He should go evasive and react to everything that I do. Now at this point I would like to go guns on this guy, but I do have one missile left and I do want it off the rail, and I'm not averse to trying to shoot him down with a missile now that he is manoeuvring against it. However, on the other side, the longer I keep this thing on me, the more annoying that buzzing is going to get. So, missile away. Of course, I could just go to the weapons control on the lower left-hand side and have turned the missiles off. Disabling the pylons disables the seeker heads, in which case I wouldn't have to deal with the sound anymore, but where's the fun in that? Now, it is worth pointing out that the F5 manoeuvres that hard that you could instantly black yourself out, which is what just happened there. Thankfully, the AI didn't go too far away, and I can see it straight away and begin to turn the aircraft for it, until I kind of flat spin the F5. Nowhere near enough airspeed, caused a wing stall, and now I am in the shit. Thankfully, I do know actually how to counter these. So I'm already trying to counter with the stick, and I'm applying full opposite rudder. This is so much easier to do now that I have access to the rudder pedals as well. And as the nose comes down, eventually enough airspeed builds up, and suddenly the aircraft stabilizes. Keep the power on, don't pull out of the dive straight away, let you get your airspeed back up. And there we go, now I actually have control again. Now of course the problem is that I actually don't know where the enemy aircraft's gone at this point. The flat spin completely disorientated me, I lost line of sight to the F5, I have no idea where it is at this point. So just pulling up, absolutely no sign of him down near the water below me or in the distance, and then I check my 6 and there he is passing up behind me, so time to book it. Now I know he's behind me, so I'm tipping in, and oh look at that, missile, 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 that was bloody close. That only missed my tail by about 10 meters, so take it down to the water as fast as I possibly can. Pull it straight back up into the vertical and try and burst climb up underneath him, except I can't see where he's gone again. Now keep in mind that just a couple of seconds ago the enemy F5 was in the sky above me firing a missile down on top of me. So where is our missing F5? He was in the vertical, climbing parallel directly underneath our belly the entire time. How did he get there? I have absolutely no idea. But he definitely had more speed than I did when he pulled up, so I'm taking this all the way back to the ground again. At this point my goal is just to open up a big enough gap between me and the enemy Tiger II that I can afford to turn the plane back around and start trying to get back to altitude with him. Now at this point I know he definitely has one more AIM-9 sitting on the rail, so I'm trying to fly low and fast, and I'm hoping it will disrupt the tracking on the missile if he's going for a lock, or at the very least it's going to give me something to potentially have the missile crash into that isn't me as I'm manoeuvring. Now at this point I'm beginning my bank back around. I can't see the other F5 at the moment, so I'm hoping that that's enough. Now we can get back on the hunt and see whether or not we can find him. Now it did take a couple of minutes to actually find him again, and honestly it was pure luck that I spotted him amongst the trees at all. First burst through, missed the target. He takes the F5 vertical and I move to pursue. Now he's dropping flares and chaff here rather heavily, but I don't see the point. Take aim, and there we go, those beautiful guns at work again. And I just follow the wreck up in and let it stall itself over. So a lucky find there to actually locate him in the end. Prior to a momentary glimpse amongst the trees, I had absolutely no idea that he was even there. Let the F5 stall flat, push the nose down into a dive, throttle it back towards the ground to chase the wreck, and that is about the point we're going to call this video. Hope you enjoyed it, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for watching. Again, apologies for the crackle in the throat. There's only so much I can do about it at this point. Remember to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Click like if you do, subscribe if you want to see more and you already haven't. And until next time, fly smart, fly safe, and I will catch you in the skies.